Hello and welcome to another bonus episode of the Six Man Podcast, one that has been in the works for a long time. I'm being joined by IUPUI stud Macee Williams. And I gotta say, another just blowout win for you guys last night against the team that was number one in the horizon, Youngstown State. How does it feel knowing you've got the tiebreaker of Youngstown State with just a game left remaining on your schedule?
It feels great I feel like this season has been, we had our up and downs. So, we put ourselves in a great position, just beating Youngstown last night. But, the job's still not done. We still have Robert Morris tomorrow. So just coming in today at practice and just taking it one day at a time.
Going into last week, the mid-major top 25 had you guys as high as eighth. And then obviously the Milwaukee road loss, which Milwaukee's a good team. I'm not discrediting them at all. Dropped you all the way to 13 behind like Drexel, Stony Brook, teams like that. For the people who are doubting you guys, because, you didn't beat Michigan, you only took them to overtime. And the people saying, well, who have they beaten? Youngstown's a 21 team you've beaten twice. The Iowa victory early in the season, I think it was, if I remember correctly, like the first program top 25 win of all time, which is huge. Confidence boosters like that. What do you think has been the biggest separator for your team from previous seasons this year compared to other years?
I just feel like we're all on the same page. We're also, we have a veteran group. We've all been to where we need to be at near the end. So it's just kind of like, for us, it's kind of nice to know, Mo and I are pretty dominant post players. And then, if we get doubled or anything like that, we can always kick it out to someone on the 3-point line. Then, more than likely they're going to make it. So it's just nice to know, anyone can shoot the ball, anyone can get a big night and just,
Another thing that really sticks out to me as far as the team itself is the few games I've watched in person and then also on ESPN Plus. I love the fact you guys can switch on defense. It's something that not a lot of teams, especially, collegiate high school, can do. Every starter can play and guard 1 through 5 against anybody, it seems. How big do you think that is? And does the coach kind of encourage a switching mindset when you guys play?
We really emphasize on defense. So I know in the summer, we worked really hard on our defense. It's not as complicated I'm sure some other programs' defense is, but it's just like you said, yeah, we can switch pretty much any position. And it's just knowing we can do that. So it's we can all help each other no matter what.
Obviously, a Horizon League title, I would say, is the minimum goal for this season. But I've noticed that for probably the first time that I can remember since I've been following collegiate basketball, the women's side is really balanced. There's only one team this year that I would say is miles ahead of everybody else. And in the past, it's always been UConn and somebody else, like Baylor or Tennessee. This year it feels like it's South Carolina at the top, and then basically 1 through 50 or 2 through 50 can beat anybody in that range. How confident are you guys, going in, obviously, the conference tournament where you guys should be the favorites, that you guys can make some noise if you get the chance to go into the field of 68?
If we get the chance to do that, I feel like we're the underdogs and we don't really have, like you said, anyone can have a good night, anybody could have an off night. And like I said, we're pretty much the underdogs. Most people don't know where IUPUI is at, or even if IUPUI is a D1 school. So just coming in and knowing we have that kind of and we can just play kind of relaxed. So once we get there, we kind of have that under our belts.
I always say, like, you guys are basically just playing with house money once you get into these bigger matchups. And that's true for a lot of smaller programs. I was actually at the University of Evansville for years, and our women's squad, when I was there one year, they were like 2-26. But because the coach preached this like no pressure mindset, they took like the first two games off of like teams in their, conference tournament and ended up losing in the finals. But it was crazy to me that a team that literally couldn't put it together the entire season was able to put it together right at the end. For you guys, this is probably the most like complete season I've seen from a basketball team in a long time. You guys have been consistently dominant in the Horizon League, with, like I said, a really tough road loss. And then, of course, you had those forfeits from COVID, which we can get into how bad those rules are later. But, it's crazy that those like early season forfeits like actually had an opportunity to potentially keep you out of the 1 seed in this upcoming tournament. But is there anything you've noticed around the team, whether it's like people going harder this season, or is there maybe a coaching change on the bench that's like really uplifted the team, or is it just you guys are playing together and you guys have played together for a few years and this is the finished product?
I just feel like there's a lot of factors playing in how well we've been playing. I mean, like you said, we've been playing together for a while. I know like we have 4 kids from Indiana on the starting lineup. So it's kind of just, I think it's 4, maybe 3. No, it's 4. Okay. Yeah, it's 4 starting lineup. So it's kind of like we've been playing together for a while. We know like how well we play with each other. We know like what they do. And just like, and we had a coaching change. I mean, we added Holly Hoop and Garner into the coaching staff. So that's been nice because I mean, she's been in our position before. She's played under Coach P, so she kind of knows like what he's looking for, and like if we have like a question or anything like that, I mean, she usually has the answer. And she was also the point guard, so more than likely she knows all the plays to heart still. So it's kind of nice to have that.
I've been, just doing like some statistical analysis and things from your years here. This is my first season getting really a good chance to watch you guys up close. And I find it fascinating that I think it was your second season, you took like close to 40 3-pointers, like shooting. What would you say the biggest change to your game that's like elevated to where you are? Because you shot 43s, you shot at like 30% that year. And then like you've taken 6, 10, and 6 in the years following that. What do you think the biggest mindset change or change in general has been for you?
I feel like just for me, it's kind of like, I guess my safe place is the post. So it's just like, I don't need to be out there by the 3 because I mean, we have so many good 3-point shooters. So I'm like, you guys can do that. I'll stay under the basket and do my thing. But yeah, and just to kind of just enhance my game, I really worked on different post moves. I'm really using my right hand. I mean, I'm sure the other years I was pretty dominant on my left hand. So I know a bunch of teams are, they've been doing a good job of taking that away. So I just been really working on my right hand.
So a lefty is dominant in the post. Sounds like me in high school, except for you have another 4 inches on me. When I played in high school, I was 5'10", and I tried to play power forward and just get smothered down there. So at least you have that working for you. That you got a few extra inches there. I want to talk about your team a little bit here. This team, it seems like everybody's like 6 feet tall, like every single player on the court. And I know Destiny, she's like the shortest member of the squad, but she runs around. She reminds me a lot of like what TJ McConnell is for the Pacers, where she like just kind of a gnat, annoying as hell, but she's good ball handler. She knows the plays so well that she can just get anybody a shot no matter where they are on the shot clock. But you have 4 players in your starting lineup, I believe, who were like 5'11" to 6 foot, and everybody, I mean, can just spread out wide and shoot the ball. How does that, where you get to play in the middle and play 4 out, how does that impact, your statistical output, career high in rebounds, career high in steals, career high in blocks, career high in field goal percentage? Like, to me, that's like a statistical anomaly, like especially this late in your career, that you're just like, I am able to completely just ignore what's going on around me, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's definitely less stressful. Just being able to know, like, if I get double teamed, I know I can pass it out to someone on the 3-point line and they're going to shoot it, or they're going to drive it. More than likely, they're going to make up the next play. And if like their person doesn't double team me, then I can take my time and do what I need to do just to be able to make our team better.
So let's say you guys win this Horizon tournament, probably get selected at like a 13 seed. What is your dream matchup? Are you eyeing Michigan again? Are you like, I want them again, we got to redeem ourselves? Or is there another team out there where you're like, I just want to see how they play, I want to experience that firsthand?
I guess I never really put in much thought into that. I mean, it'd be nice to play Michigan again, because I feel like, we played well, but we really didn't. We should have won that game. So playing them again, that would be fun. But I just feel like if we had an opportunity to play anyone, no matter what, it's going to be a fun game to watch.
I got to ask you about your counterparts on the men's side here. Obviously, they're playing with 6 people. Absolutely crazy season for them.
Yes.
I don't know how much you've interacted with, their side, whether it's Coach Crenshaw or some of the guys on the team. What do you think is the big difference between their mindset and your team? Obviously, success cures all, right? But going into the season, even, I know that there are people who are like, yeah, the men's team just not going to be good. And like, I feel like when you set yourself up with that mindset, it doesn't work. So what do you think they need to do, like maybe going into next year, to change that mindset to give them a better outlook for the future?
I know it can be difficult. Having a coaching change just like that. So I know it's going to be just this year. It was hard for them to just kind of like pick up on Crenshaw's, coaching techniques. But I'm completely still believe in the boys. They can do what they need to do. But I know, like, in the upcoming years, I'm sure Crenshaw is going to definitely turn the program around. And they're going to be good in a couple years. I feel that. But I'm sure it's hard playing with only 6 people. I know, just like with us playing with how many we play, some days I'm exhausted more than others, so I'm sure they're just exhausted. But it is sad seeing all the stuff on social media about the boys. Give them some slack.
Yeah,
Them.
when Barstool put out their article about it, basically just roasting the program, I was just like, you're not helping anything. Like,
Yeah.
No one's going to want to try out for a program that's, Barstool's making fun of online.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the nature of the beast. Is we live in a social media dominant world. Yet again, I seem to be one of a few people talking about how good IUPUI is on social media. A good colleague of mine, Daniel Artest, has been a very big advocate of you on his 265 podcast, where he talks about the WNBA and then women's college basketball. He says IUPUI can make some noise come March. And he even says, he's like, I don't know why big boards have Macee Williams where she is. And so I found, a list of like where people have placed you, have averaged it out. And a lot of people have you taken as the exact last pick in the draft, the final pick in the WNBA draft at 36 overall. Now, obviously, it's a pipe dream, right? Playing professional basketball is like everybody's dream. But have you given it any thought, that for the next level, or are you still just like way too dialed in right now to like think about that coming up?
I mean, my main focus right now is still just, playing this season, but I mean, I still want to play professional, whether that's getting drafted to wherever that's going to be or just playing overseas. But I mean, I'll be like lucky enough to even get drafted anywhere. I mean, I still think it would be cool to get drafted. So, I mean, if I'm going to be picked dead last, I'll just still be happy about it. So,
Some players I told you beforehand, I found a player comp that like I think really fits your mold as far as what you've done this year compared to, your previous seasons, which I don't think people understand just how dominant you've been basically since your sophomore season, where it looked like you were the sixth man off the bench your sophomore year. And then, you've been a starter the last 3 years, and it's been consistency with you. While you may not have a 55 and 20 game like we've seen some of these first overall picks have in years past, it's a consistent 20 and 10 every night type of, mindset. And to me, if I was looking for somebody for the next level, I want the consistency aspect. I don't want the flash in the flash in the pan. Do you have a player that you looked at when you were younger that you're like, I like how they play, I'm gonna kind of model them? Or are you, do you have a player in mind that you're like, yeah, I would say my game's pretty similar to theirs?
I guess I never really put in much thought. I mean, growing up, I didn't really watch much sports, but I love the what was it, like hardwood classics, like Michael Jordan, all those kind of people. But I really love Shaq's game. I don't know what about it, but I mean, he was quite the dominant post back in the day. But
if you ended up having a career like Shaq in the WNBA, I think people would be absolutely amazed at that. Those are some massive shoes to fill, literally.
yeah.
Like I think he wears like size 25s or whatever. So yeah, to me, the WNBA is in a different spot than the NBA is right now. The WNBA has a lot of back to the back centers or power forwards who play, free throw line down. Whereas like in the modern NBA, if you're not a center shooting threes, like you're not playing, And I look at like the Pacers getting rid of Domantas Sabonis, who was a two-time All-Star, to get a guy who shoots 40% from three and Tyrese Halliburton. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like we had a guy who, and while I love Tyrese, I think the Pacers made a really good deal. I just like, I miss having a back to the back center. I miss J.O. I miss like Al Harrington, like guys like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why getting to cover this team has amazed me this season. Having you basically be a back to the back center, you're not looking to pass. If you get the ball in the post, you're going in, you're getting fouled, or you're putting it in the hoop. And then if you're getting a rebound, it's going right back up, and so that kind of thing has really stuck out to me. I gave you a player comp. I don't know how much you said you didn't watch a ton of sports. I gave you a player comp picked by the Fever, number 5 overall, going back in 2013, Natasha Howard. She averaged 20 and a half and 9.3 her senior year with like 0.6 assists. You've got her beat on assists. You got her beat on rebounds, like a half a point less or 2 points less. Like very similar comparison. Natasha just played at Florida State. So, that's going to help with draft stock, obviously. Playing at bigger schools always does. For people who are interested, maybe drafting you or trying you out for their team. The Indiana Fever, I know, have always looked for hometown talent, whether it's IU, IUPUI, Purdue. For the people looking at you in the draft or to recruit you to their team, what is one thing that you think sets you apart from other people in the upcoming draft that they should be looking for?
I just feel like just to set me apart from other team or other players. I mean, I'm gonna work hard. Just coming from even coming from a smaller D1 school, I feel like we're always overlooked. So I mean, if they just gave me a chance, I'm always gonna try my best, work really hard, do the dirty work. So just hopefully they give me a chance. And I mean, I hope my game can show them what I'm capable of. And I mean, if I play I think it would be cool to play for any team, but just being home, playing for Indiana, I mean, I think that'd just be the cherry on top. But I mean, like I said, I'll just be so happy if I could just play for any team.
I think any team would be lucky to have you, somebody with your, compassion and passion for the game as well. I've taken up a lot of your time already, but I do have one final question. I believe senior night is against Robert Morris, if I'm not mistaken. Are you prepared to cry when they present you your senior night, flowers or?
Yeah, I mean, I like to do things last minute, so I haven't even worked on my senior speech yet, but I've been trying to think of some stuff to say, and I mean, I don't know if I can get it all out because I'm sure I'm gonna bawl like a baby. So I hope everyone's prepared for that. So
I can't thank you enough for your time. This is always, just super fun to just chat with people about their, experiences, and we'll be watching, come Horizon League tournament time. Obviously, we got a couple of campus games, then we move on to the big gym, and already have my championship, tickets picked out. Going to be hanging out with the GM of the Fever for a little bit, maybe talking you up a little bit. But do you have anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
No, I mean, I just want to say thank you for, allowing me to be here, talk about the game, talk about IUPUI. So thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for those of you listening or even watching on YouTube. And of course, be on the lookout for other awesome content from athletes, or when me and Cam do our entire bracketology over another 3-hour episode again. So thanks for listening to the Six Man Podcast. Have a wonderful day.